Hello and welcome to Gooner Gathering, where I am clearly not Lee. You can tell there's a bit more hair. Sorry, Lee. But welcome to Gooner Gathering on what will be match day when you are watching this. I am Dom, and I'm going to talk to you today about why there's a reason for a lot of positivity and optimism around Arsenal, despite a narrative in certain sections of both the fan base, but particularly punditry, that feel that Arsenal are not going to win the title, that they lack the desire, the mentality, and they're dropping points, which is going to cost them the league. Now, let's address that first. That could well prove to be true come May. I think Arsenal have had to overcome a lot of adversity this season. There are injuries, there have been red cards, there have been some unfortunate, for want of a better word, refereeing decisions. And there has been an incredibly hard fixture list to start the season, which has seen us 5 points behind Manchester City. Now, I don't think it's necessarily a surprise that we're 5 points behind Manchester City when you compare the fixtures to date. And I think when you're looking at football and judging, there is a tendency, and an understandable one, it's an emotional game. Fans are rightly emotional when following their team, and you can get a reactionary result about that. But I think when you look at the trends, I don't think it's a surprise. And I think it's even less of a surprise. And I'm not saying Manchester City have had no bad luck. They've lost Rodri for the season. And right now they are having a similar injury crisis to one that we were sort of experiencing when we went into the Tottenham game. And subsequently since. And it's been a little bit up and down, but it's starting to ease now with a number of players out and a few big players out as well. And I think we saw that in their performance last night, that how difficult it is to win. And I do think that Arsenal should have beaten Brighton, and I think would have beaten Brighton with 11, but you have to see those games out. I think that's the same at Bournemouth, where, let's be honest, we had a very bad performance. It's going to happen at times during the season. It's frustrating, it's annoying, it's not acceptable, but it's going to happen. It happens to most teams in most seasons. And I think you kind of almost have to look beyond the last couple of years where Liverpool and Manchester City have been exceptional beyond anything we've almost ever seen in the Premier League ever. And I'm an older chap, and I go back to the old First Division. Those things are not the norm; they are the exception. And I think these things will happen in a normal season. We shouldn't overreact when these things do happen. So I understand the narrative to some extent, and I think to some extent it's true. We have to be winning those games, and you have to overcome that adversity. However, Arsenal's still only 5 points off the league. They have had a horrific injury situation, which is now getting better. And to their credit, and I think this is really important because this narrative is wrong, Arsenal not use that as an excuse. I think it's a mitigating circumstance. It provides context to where we are, but it's not an excuse. As I said earlier, you've got to be trying to pick up those points. But that injury situation is now improving. I think we're starting to see form, and we're getting minutes into the legs of the squad players. Raheem Sterling is starting to grow in every game. Mikael Moreno, despite that horrid moment, which allowed Liverpool that chance when he completely missed the ball, simple control, and he sort of, ran away from him. Had a really good game. You can see him getting better every game. He's got his goal as well now. That will be massive for him. Jesus got a goal the other day. And I think he's looked okay. I think he's started to look sharp, and he's had moments, but he's clearly a player that's shorn of confidence. We saw that with Martinelli earlier this season, who is now growing into one of our form players. We've sort of seen some of those squad players really get minutes and really start to find a little bit of form, and I think that will be really, really important as the season goes on. But what's even better now, we're seeing Saka come back, Odegaard back in training now. That's really good news. Calafiori should be back after the international break. These big players that are going to play big parts in our season are coming back now. So the injury situation is getting better. The fixture list after these next couple of games is getting kinder. And I just don't think that the unfortunate refereeing decisions that we've seen will continue. I think we will probably start to see some go our way, which maybe shouldn't go our way. It tends to be how these things work. And I think all of those things combined will probably see us close the gap to Manchester City between now and January. City's games will get harder. They've got injuries coming in as we are starting to get ours better. And I think this season, I don't think the bar will be quite so high. And I think Arsenal can still get to the heights they got to last season in around the 90 points. If we win on Saturday, I think we've got the same number of points as we did at this stage last season after a harder start. So I don't see any reason why we can't get to 90 again, but I don't think we need to. I think 85 points wins the league. And I just think that to get to 85 points, it's about 2.2 points a game from now to the end of the season. That is easily within Arsenal's reach. I think we've got a 20-goal striker in Jesus. Odegaard should be back soon. That should boost our goal scoring. I think defensively we've been a little bit lax in the last few weeks, but that defence is elite. It is one of, if not the best defence in Europe. That will get tighter again, and that will start to see us roll over teams and accumulate the points. I also think there's a desire and a mentality about Arsenal, a desire to right the wrongs of the last couple of seasons, a desire to get this over the line. We saw it again in a Preston game on Wednesday, where we didn't give up. We kept going for the kill, and we played a strong side, stronger than maybe we were expecting, maybe slightly forced by the injury situation, but a strong side nonetheless, that wanted to win that game, wanted to go through to the quarterfinal, clearly wanted to win something this season. And I think all of these things combined, coupled with City not being the force they were, and you shouldn't win titles just because someone's not as good as they were, but it does help, really give me a lot of faith. And that's why I don't think that, although 6 points in the next two games would be huge, would be very welcome, would be a real statement of intent, particularly tomorrow or today when you're watching this against Newcastle, where, let's be honest, that goal shouldn't have stood last season. I understand why it was. Couldn't see the ball was out clearly. Couldn't see to draw the lines. I understand those two bits, but that push, how we're not seeing that given. But it wasn't. And it's those moments of luck that you need to go your way, in a title that haven't gone our way to date, but I think will turn. And I think there'll be a real desire tomorrow for Arsenal to go and right that wrong, to show that they were the side that are better than Newcastle, and they are better than Newcastle. So I think we will get 3 points tomorrow, and I think we can beat Chelsea too, if I'm honest. But if we don't win those two games, I really truly believe the title isn't over. Maybe that changes if we get no points. You could be 11 points behind City. That might be a bit too much of an ask. But even then, my faith would still be there, given all the things I've said. So I think whatever happens tomorrow, let's take stock on where we're at. And there's a lot of cause for optimism about this side. So my plea to Arsenal fans would be, get behind that team tomorrow, as it is now, but today. Look for that big performance. Let's get those 3 points. But if we don't, let's not panic. Let's not jump on that bandwagon. Let's not raise the pressure more than it already is. There's nothing we can probably do to raise that pressure on Arsenal more than it already is. But it's really important that we don't react too negatively tomorrow, because I think there was a long way to go in the season and a lot of causes for optimism. It's really important we don't lose sight of that. So hopefully a big 3 points today. You might see a different cast list over the weekend, because Lee is becoming a singing sensation for the next few days. Good luck to him in the performances that he's doing. But keep supporting Arsenal, keep supporting Lee and Guna Gathering, and we hope to see you soon. Have a great day, a great weekend, and let's hope in a few hours' time we'll be supporting a big Arsenal win at St James's Park. Until then, thanks very much. See you all soon. Bye.